Okay, what about if a person has read a little bit of the Bible? Is that enough? Do I have to read it regularly? What's the point of that? If I've read it through completely, should I move on to another book? What's your perspective on it?
So I think the Bible is different. It's not like a textbook in that, a textbook you can read it once, you've absorbed the information, you're good to go. For people who are following Jesus, though, the Bible is spoken of, it's described as having kind of an aliveness to it because God has breathed it. He's inspired the people and has who wrote it and has been part of this book coming to be in the state that it's in. And so there's an aliveness to it, and it is important for us in our faith. As we read the Bible, we encounter God in a unique way, and that will recalibrate us. It helps us grow in our faith. It centers us. It corrects us. There's so many beautiful things, and I think that only comes through kind of regular reading and rereading of the Bible and asking God to speak to us through it, to open our eyes to what it has to say, help us to hear, like you were talking about with kids, and He will start it will start to mean more to us all the time. So I think, it's just a constant part of life. What would you say?
I was somewhere else there while you're talking.
Okay, talking about the Bible?
No, I was with you. But so for me, it was like, I wanted to ask you this question, if you and Brad ever had a time when you were apart. Because I'm way older than you are, but in my lifetime, we used to send letters back and forth. We didn't send emails. And so these things came hard copy. And Colleen and I were 3 hours apart and we saw each other most weekends. But we wrote these letters, and they would get stuffed into places, or I would reread them. Mm-hmm. And it was all this anticipation of seeing her again. And so there's this, for me, the Bible is a bit like that. It's like, well, I read it once. I don't need to read that letter from her again. I'll be going like, I wonder what she meant when she said that. I'll go through the lines again. For me, just this morning, I'm reading about Paul in I think it was Acts 17, where he's in the Areopagus. He's in Athens, and he's debating with these guys. And in Acts 13, Paul was unbelievably brilliant with the Jewish people. I'd never seen this sermon before. And he's explaining exactly how Jesus is the Messiah. And then he goes to the Areopagus, and he's starting to try to talk about the Christian hope with people who have no context for it whatsoever. And I'm drawn into this again this morning. I'm reading this, like, look at him working on this. And then, God, what's the context that I'm in? And what do I need to A, hear? B, how can I speak to people like the fire department? So, I have fire department friends or other folks that are in my life. I think, okay, anyway, so for me, it's, gosh, it would be like saying, well, I filled my car up once with fuel. Will I have to do that again?
Eat again.
Yeah, I'm done. I did that. Can we go on to the next? So for me, reading the scriptures, it's like that. Yeah.